Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will guide you on how to plan and migrate file shares to Microsoft 365 environment. You can migrate the data to either OneDrive, SharePoint Online, or Teams. I will go over the migration requirements and will then demonstrate on how to get started. So here is the complete list of prerequisites for the file share migration. The first one is about permissions to destination. So you need to ensure you either have global admin or SharePoint admin role to the Microsoft 365 tenant where you want to migrate the data. The second one is about source permissions. So your Windows credentials must have at least read access to the network file shares that you plan to migrate. And the third one is about SMB 2.0. So the server hosting the data must support at least SMB 2.0 or higher. So SMB is Server Message Protocol, which is a file sharing protocol and also known as Client Server Protocol. This is used by default on all the Windows-based computers. This protocol runs as a service called LAN man server. And if you stop this service, all the file shares will stop working. And the last one is about endpoints. You need to ensure that your firewall is not blocking any of these URLs. Alright, moving on. Let me now talk about Migration Manager agents. So before kicking off migration, you need to install migration agents on each machine from where data is going to be migrated. Okay. And once the agent is installed and configured, anyone with either SharePoint admin or global admin can create tasks to migrate the data. And once the agent is installed, a new directory will get created for each agent. Okay. And finally, if you are migrating data to Teams, then the destination team site must be in the same geo as your tenant admin. If they are different, the Teams channel won't load when you select the destination. Keep in mind that file share migration supports migrating data with individual file of up to 250 gigs. If the size of a file is more than 250 gigs, then migration will most likely fail. Alright, so let's jump into the demo now. The first step towards successful migration is to install the migration agent, and same can be done from the SharePoint admin console. Click Migration and then select Get Started under File Shares. This will download a small exe file by clicking on Download Agent. Once the file is downloaded, open the exe file and it will then start the wizard to configure it. Simply hit Next. And then enter the SharePoint admin or global admin credentials. It will automatically pick up the credentials that you are logged in with to the machine. Please ensure these credentials have the read permission to the file share. Then click Install. At this stage, you will have to enter the source file share path. Then click Close. Now that agent has been installed and configured, you will now need to enter a source path. Simply click Add Source Path. Select the first option and then enter the path where file shares are stored. It will now scan all the folders under the path that we just entered. Let me scroll down. So we can see it has discovered 2 folders and their current status is queued. After waiting for about 5 minutes, I can see that their status has been changed to ready to migrate. And we can see more details about these 2 folders, like their data size, number of folders, and so on. Say once I'm ready to migrate any of these folders, I can simply select the folder and select copy to migration. We can then see we have been given with 3 options. You can choose whether you would like to migrate to OneDrive or SharePoint or Teams. If you go with OneDrive, you will need to enter the email address or OneDrive URL of the user, and same goes with SharePoint. So you can put the SharePoint site URL here. And if you select Teams, then you will get the list of teams in your environment that you can choose from. So this is the current list of teams in my environment. I'm going ahead with migrating to OneDrive. I would simply enter user's email address or their OneDrive URL and then select the document library and create a new folder if needed. Click Next, then give it a task name. It can be any meaningful name. And now you can choose whether you would like to run the schedule now or at a later time. Then select the migration agent if you have more than one, and then put a check mark on preserve the source permission. This ensures all the permission settings are intact. Then enable any more filters depending upon your requirement. It is recommended to leave the Azure lookup option checked so that folder permissions are maintained to the migrated data. Keep in mind that permissions are maintained only if the users who have permissions on premise are synced with Office 365 as well. Finally, click Run. I am now logging in to the OneDrive of the user Peter, and we can see that currently there is no data in his OneDrive. Let me check the migration status now. It is only 1% completed. After waiting for about 10 minutes, I can see the data has been migrated completely. Let's go back to Peter's OneDrive so we can see if all the data is appearing there or not. We can see the data has been migrated successfully. Let me go back to the source folder of Peter, and we can see similar files here. You can also migrate more than one file shares by selecting all the required source paths and then click on Copy to Migrations, and then select the template CSV sheet. Let me open it. In the column A, put the source path. Leave the column B and C empty, but do not delete them. Enter the destination URL in the column D. and then put the document library name in column E, and if there is any subfolder where the data is going to be migrated, then put that folder name in column F. Now click Browse and then navigate to the file that you just tweaked and then hit Open. Click Next. All the steps in here are same as I explained earlier in this video. I will perform another migration now, and this time data will be migrated to this SharePoint site called Marketing. Let me select the file share that needs to be migrated and then click Copy to Migration, select SharePoint, enter the SharePoint URL, then select the desired folder location, create a folder if required, then click Create and hit Next. Enter a task name and then hit Run down at the bottom. Alright, let me see the migration status. It is currently showing as waiting for agent. So after waiting for about 15 minutes, I can see migration has been completed. Let me go back to Marketing SharePoint site, refresh it. Alright, I can see a folder has been created called Shared Data. And here we go, all the files are here. So this means migration was successful. Further, you can also view the summary of any migration by simply clicking on Summary Report and then open the CSV sheet. In this report, you get the complete details about the migration, like status, total items migrated or not migrated, data size of the migrated items, and the migration duration, etc. Moving on, lastly, you can also go through the migration logs at this folder location. These are the different log files that you can go through if in case you come across any issues or any errors. Alright, that's all I wanted to cover for today. I hope this video is informative, and if there is any topic that you'd like me to cover, please leave the topic name in the comments box. Thank you for all the support, and bye for now.